Remember the various poems sung in school, all in unison? Hello and welcome to Musings of a MasterNi. I'm Meenal Desai and here I share a medley of my unique experiences shaped by students, teachers and life in general. Schools all across India have one form or another of prayers. India is a deeply religious nation and almost every school starts with some kind of prayer, whether it is the Sanskrit shlokas or the verses of Bible or some poem praising the God or the kalmas, whatever. There is always some form of prayer that helps begin the day. Prayers give us solace, prayers give us hope, prayers provide encouragement. They tell us that there is a divine power helping us to move forward. And there are some great prayers that people recall even today, like Humko Man Ki Shakti Dena, We Shall Overcome. But I wonder, how do schools really choose their prayers? And do they even choose, or they just live with the one that they've got since their inception? Most prayers fall woefully short of providing inspiration or solace. And there are two major issues I've noticed with most school prayers in India, and that's what we're going to discuss about today. The first is that a lot of prayers debase us as human beings. They make us look like these sinning, conniving individuals who are at the behest of the Almighty to be redeemed. Now, I'm no religious expert, and I don't know why prayers are written like this. I understand children. And when children, day in and day out, sing prayers like these, what goes into their mind? That child who lied in the classroom yesterday, he says a small prayer and gets away with it. Why? Because he believes that God will forgive me because I've said a prayer. That bystander of bullying will forgive himself because he believes even God couldn't help it. How could I? Shouldn't prayers inspire and empower rather than invoke the mystical? Also, secondly, most prayers are uninspiring and plain boring to children at times. When words like art and thou are used, or when tongue twister like Sanskrit shlokas are used to recite poems which have no meaning for the child, the children really don't imbibe much. There are some prayers which are set to like 18th century melody which invoke sleep rather than God. Isn't it time for us to relook at prayers, like invent new 21st century prayers that children can relate to? We schools believe that there are certain things that have to be set in tradition. But you should read Gijubai, who 100 years ago wrote how religious teaching could take place in schools, or Sadhguru for that matter, to understand how prayers work. Prayers are not meant as a mindless recitation of something. Prayers need to do a lot more. And unless we do that, we'll have our children call up God for every small little thing. And poor God will wonder, why is this happening? Because I send these children to do some good deeds. Instead, they end up calling me back again and again. So, what has your experience about prayers been? How do you think prayers should be for the new age? Please do share your views with me and don't forget to follow the MasterNi on Instagram. Thank you so much. Bye.